We're at Mile High Stadium.
The Denver Broncos have 3 Super Bowl rings and 8 hard-won AFC championships, but they deliver their fans much more than just another reason to pound their chest. This week, I go head-to-head with Ben Hunt, Director of Digital Media for the Broncos, to discuss how one of the NFL's most successful teams have scored big as one of the most active and socially engaging teams in the league. Thank you, Ben, for inviting us into the club-level suites here at Sports Authority Stadium. Great to be here.
Happy to have you here.
What's the definition for you of the fan experience?
I think we just want to look to give our fans the best, the best time when they're here at Sports Authority Field. Pretty much just making the experience the best we possibly can, bringing any convenience we can to the fan, and we think that they enjoy what we bring them. I mean, obviously, I think you can never do enough, but we do a lot as far as trying to reach out to our different touch points with our fans.
And what do people not understand about the Broncos fan experience and how the Broncos work behind the scenes to shape it? I mean, I see, from the outside what's going on, but from the inside, is it a major operation? How would you describe it?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a department that is within our organization that isn't sort of looking at that fan experience from their perspective, whether it's digital or guest services or marketing or whichever department you want to look at.
So at a high level, what is kind of the fan engagement strategy? What do you aim to do specifically?
Specifically, we want to entertain them. We want to give them information that they need. On our online properties, it can be, what the coach says on a particular day, or breaking down some play for our fans. So there's a lot of different ways specifically there on the digital side, but also a lot of different ways here in the physical too, right? Anything that we can do to just make that experience better, whether it's creating something within our app to say the bathroom lines are shorter over here, or have a shorter line at concessions. We look at any different touch point we can, and we try to make that as efficient and as best as possible.
So are we just becoming different as fans now? Why do we need to be entertained beyond the game itself? Seems like the game should be enough, but it really isn't anymore, right?
Well, I mean, when you look at you're competing with entertainment at home and high definition and 4K televisions, we want fans to really feel like if you're not here at the stadium with us, you're really missing out on something.
To turn this venue into something that the fans would rather be at, I mean, it's got to take a lot, I would imagine.
Well, of course. I mean, we talked about having our different department staffs around helping people. We invest in things like Mile High Monument that we were out at earlier. That's a new area that we just installed earlier this season, and fans love to be out there and sort of reminisce in that nostalgia pregame and postgame, and it's quite a popular destination. That's just a version of old Mile High Stadium.
Do you have an example of something you're particularly proud of, maybe some campaign that you did or something that happened here that you guys are like, wow, we really knocked one out of the ballpark?
I can think of probably several, but one of the more recent ones, we did with Twitter, our Twitter game against the Chargers. Twitter sent us a Bronco head with, the hashtag Broncos on it, a big cutout of it, and we got John Elway to autograph it. And as part of, retweeting our message that the game is on Twitter, we gave one fan the opportunity to win that thing. And it didn't really cost us anything physical or anything tangible other than shipping, but it made that fan's day.
So Twitter was a part of this. I know there's some sponsorship that they have with the NFL now. They were involved in just doing a cutout of the Broncos.
Twitter's a great partner with the league and the Broncos, of course. So for Thursday Night Football, huge league-wide initiative. So from the very ends of Twitter to the very top of the league level, there's a lot of support around Thursday Night Football, whether Twitter was sending out emails to people they knew that were in the area, like, hey, watch the game on Thursday night, to retweeting our own messages about the game, either was from the Twitter handle itself or Twitter Sports.
Yeah, I was watching it on Twitter because I was out of the country and I was able to watch it on Moments. I saw the Moments and I'm like, oh, I can watch this game. So thankfully, I found some Wi-Fi spot and I was able to watch it because they don't have it on TV over in Europe. Right. And very rarely. You can't even get it on the internet. I mean, everything seems to be blocked. But for whatever reason, I was able to watch it on Twitter. I was happy to see that.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a department that is within our organization that isn't sort of looking at that fan experience from their perspective, whether it's digital or guest services or marketing or whichever department you want to look at.
Not everything goes well, right, in certain situations, especially with fan engagement. What can you describe a situation that didn't go well and how you helped resolve it?
Well, one big challenge that we have right now, and I don't think it's just necessarily unique to us, is there's so many different mobile software out there, right? Like you have iOS, and then you have the 52 different versions of Android. Sometimes we try to put something maybe in our app that doesn't work with a newer version of Android, or it may have worked with an older version of iOS, or so forth and so on. So sometimes we get the ideas that, hey, this is going to be great, and we try to throw it in our app, and with the sophistication of software, for some reason there gets to be a bug there.
All right. So speaking of technologies now, what are the technologies you use for the fan experience?
So we use a lot of different technologies. We've partnered with a host of different companies since I've been here, but we've looked at different kinds of apps. We've looked at using Google Glass on the field, Sony Smart Glass. We like to try a whole lot of different things and see what sticks. And if it doesn't resonate immediately with fans, maybe we were too soon, maybe we were too late, maybe it just doesn't fit with our audience.
What about managing the fan experience? Let's move to like customer facing or fan facing to behind the scenes, like your CRM system, marketing automation. What are you using there? And
so right now, pretty much it's all through Eloqua. Eloqua is what we use to have our database, segment the database, send out all those email messages. We still don't have a traditional CRM, to a lot of people's surprise. This is my second stop in sports, and neither of my places at the San Antonio Spurs or the Denver Broncos had a real true CRM. But you have to rely on your touch points, your people touch points, to keep up with that record of your customers.
so where is the record of the customer then? Is it in Eloqua?
Yeah, it's in Eloqua.
Okay.
It's in our database. So
Yeah.
we do all kinds of different campaigns with our database, whether it's we just want to touch, we haven't heard from you, we notice you haven't opened an email, we want to make sure you're still interested in receiving stuff from us. So we do all kinds of different campaigns to make sure our fans who are in our different database lists, are listening to us, they are fans, they do want this information.
And do you have certain KPIs that you kind of hold the team responsible for, or yourself responsible for?
Unique visitors is always going to be a big KPI.
To your web properties that you control?
To our web properties. We're always going to want to know who are the new people that are coming to our sites. Page views is tried and true. It's one of the oldest forms of metrics. Some people still call them impressions, right? So we look at page views. I like time on site. Time on site has definitely changed over the years, especially with the shift to mobile. When I took this job about 3 years ago, we were about 60-40 desktop to mobile. Now we've completely flipped that. Now we're 70-30 mobile to desktop.
Are you responsible for ticket sales, or is the game's always sold out and it's more like merchandise?
We've been extremely fortunate that the stadium has been sold out for quite some time. My team in digital, we're not too worried about pushing tickets, but every once in a while we'll have, another team might send an allotment of ticket back. So we'll have, maybe 200 to 400 tickets on occasion for a game, and we'll let our fans know via the social network, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or what have you, that hey, we know we're sold out, but we've got maybe 200 tickets if you want to come to the box office and buy tickets.
So Ben, it was a pleasure talking to you. I think it was a wonderful interview. Anybody that is watching this learned a lot about fan experience from the Denver Broncos, learned about who you choose as the greatest quarterback ever with the Broncos. Be sure to follow this channel, subscribe, and comment below so that we can get in touch with you.